Hi guys, so this video has been on my to-do list for a long time. Just getting a chance to do it now. So it's all about soothers. So soothers, dodos, passies, pacifiers, binkies, whatever you want to call them. We're going to call them soothers or dodos. That's what I normally call them. So that's what this video is all about. You may have no interest in this, so you can skip right on to the next one. But I'm going to just talk about my experience when using soothers as a maternity nurse and also as a sleep consultant. So we're going to go through a few bits and bobs. So I can say, honestly, I can count on one hand how many sleepy stars were left with dodos. The majority of my sleepy stars don't have soothers at the end of the process because I don't like to leave any doors open for their sleep to go backwards down the line. So when I work with parents, and if they are using a soother, I ask them to reduce the use of the soother in advance of in preparation of getting rid of it. But we also introduce and implement another source of comfort. So you cannot eliminate a primary source of comfort without offering a secondary source of comfort. And sometimes your secondary source of comfort, your snuggy teddy, won't take hold until your primary source has taken a step back. Now, some children never take soothers. And then there's some parents who on baby number 1, baby number 2, their children had soothers and they've no sleep issues whatsoever, really good routines. Then child number 3 comes along, they're like, what? Okay, so they're not necessarily a bad thing. But if parents, by the time they've come to me, I'm going to make sure that we leave no doors open for them to go backwards. So I don't want them wasting their money, wasting their time. We're going to make sure that we have good sleep going forward and we secure that. So a couple of my Let's Get Started bubbas did keep the soothers, but they were used in a mindful way. So when I'm working as a maternity nurse, if there's already a soother in play, or if baby has a little bit of silent reflux, I may use a soother. It can offer that little bit, it can offer comfort, especially after a feed. It can help keep the step A, that kind of sucking motion, but we address the silent reflux. And none of my maternity babies are left with a soother by the end of the 12 weeks. So I may use it temporarily for different reasons. And if I use it, I may use it to help establish my routine. So if baby wakes up in the middle of the nap, I might use it to get the rest of the nap. So if the doorbell rang or the dog barked or they just woke up, I may pop the dodo in to help get the rest of my nap. When I'm working nights, I may use it at like 5 in the morning when the sleep pressure is really low. I'll know this wake is not hungry because I gave them a really good feed around 3 a.m. or whenever their due previous feed was. So I know the wake up isn't hunger. I also know they're on a really good day routine and they're not ready to start the day at 5 a.m. So I may use the soother in that way. So I use it in a very careful manner. When I'm working with parents, I ask them, try not to use it at bedtime. Or if you have to use it at bedtime, let it be at the very last part of your routine. Lamp off, dodo in, rather than like all the way from the bathroom in, because then it creeps in from like all the way from downstairs to the bathroom to the bedroom. And if baby's like happy out in the bouncer looking at you, you know, they don't need the dodo in that moment. They need some kind of interaction. They need a little toy. They need some quiet time, but they don't need the soother in that moment in general, unless they are uncomfortable. Now, when I'm helping children in like the 16, 17, 18-month old age group, the parents will say, it's not the soother. We don't want to get rid of the soother. The soother's not the reason why they wake up, Kelly. We go in and there's one in their mouth and there's like 10 glow in the darks in the cot. When you fall asleep at nighttime, you fall asleep with your pillow. If I was to sneak in and take your pillow away, you would wake up after a while and go, there's something missing. Ah, my pillow. You would need your pillow in order to go back to sleep. If the dodo is in the baby's mouth to help them to go to sleepy town, they're going to need it to go back to sleepy town. But what can happen with older children is they'll wake up, they'll find one, and then they're like, their brain had to fully activate to find the soother. So they're like, well, I had a nap. I slept from 7. It's now 4 a.m. They're wide awake. The sleep pressure has been reduced and they're going to call out for you. So it is a contributing factor to their wake ups. If their day is in a good place, if their day routine is in a good place, sometimes you'll get lucky and they'll pop the dodo in and they'll go back to sleep. Other times not so lucky, and you'll have a 2-hour party at 4 o'clock in the morning, which nobody wants. So yeah, Soothers, around 8-9 months, children can develop the skill of putting the dodo back in themselves. But it's like children who start to roll or start to crawl, or those different developmental skills. I've worked with twins, many twins over the years as a maternity nurse, and you'll get one twinny who's like, doing roly-polies at like 5 months, and the other twinny doesn't bother or want to do it or master the skill until around 8 months. So you may say, well, if you wait till 8 months, they'll be able to put it back in themselves. What if they can't? What if it's then 12 months? So generally speaking, my sleepy stars are not left with a dodo. We take the dodo away and they're all absolutely fine afterwards. So now a couple of other things about Soothers. So you can see there's a blog on my website about Soothers and Snuggie Teddies, about implementing a positive association with a Snuggie Teddy carefully if you are considering taking the Soother away down the line. So I have different brands here. The Avon brand, this is one that I use when I'm working as a maternity nurse. This is the glow in the dark one. This is the Ultra Air, so it has little gaps around the mouth so you don't get the saliva rash, because it has those little holes, you're less likely to get that glow in the dark. And did you know that you're supposed to replace these every 4 weeks? This brand every 4 weeks, because they're made from silicone and that's what the manufacturers recommend. These are our Nook brand. So I'm going to open these guys up. Lots of parents swear by these. Some of these come in microwavable little cases, which is great and handy for, which one am I open? Oh, there we go. The only thing about these, they're tilted. So if you pop it in the wrong way, you can actually activate the gag reflex. So, oh, sorry about that. And if you're half asleep and you're on auto in the middle of the night, that can happen easily. So not the biggest fan of these. They're fine. If baby likes them, that's absolutely fine. They've no little handle on them. They do have like the glow in the dark button. So that's your 0 to 6 months. I'm going to open your 6 to 18 months now. These won't be wasted. In October, all the pumpkins will have dodos, glow in the dark dodos. So you can see there the sizes. That's a 6 to 18 months, and that is 0 to 6 months. So, and again, they have the tilt. So we pop it in this way, but again, if we pop it in that way, Bubba may not be happy. Usually at this age, they're able to do it themselves, but again, you may be called in the middle of the night to help with that. So we're not functioning at our best at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, I opened one of the Nook ones earlier on, and they said, for reasons of safety and hygiene, no one reads these leaflets, but for reasons of safety and hygiene, replace the Soother after 1 to 2 months of use. This is very important, as even without visible damage and stability, the stability of the Soother may be weakened. So they're saying every 1 to 2 months you should replace Soother. Gets expensive. What do we got here? We got Mam. Mam, I find them quite chunky. The Mam ones. Oh, do I need a scissors? No, we're good. Woo. Okay, the Mam, they don't have the tilt, so you can pop them in either way and you're okay. Some babies have very small mouths, and they can struggle with these guys because they're kind of wide, they're kind of fat, and some babies love them. So there you go. There's your Mam ones. What does Mam say? Hold on. There's a whole book. Hold on. Yeah, it just tells you about your little microwavable case. Anything else? Replace every 1 to 2 months for that one. Okay, we've got the Boots ones here. Boots are, I actually think, are quite similar to the Avent ones. So I know a lot of you guys were messaging me about having difficulties finding the Avent ones. That's why I got the 0 to 6 months, but our supplier didn't have the older age group. They're actually quite similar in shape, and they're not tilted either. So they're your boots, and they have their little handle, and they actually have the air vent there as well, so to stop the saliva rash. So that is Boots. Boots baby. Boots baby. What does Boots baby say? Ah. There's no recommendations here as to how long they last. Not that I can see easily. I'll probably say this since I've finished the video. Anyway, Tommy TP, last one. Tommy TP. Loads of parents use Tommy TP. Very popular brand and easy enough to get. Ooh, here we go. I have a desk full of Soothers. Now it's play match the Soother with the case game. They're not tilted. And they have the little vents here as well. So that's your Tommy TP. What does Tommy's TP say? When? How often should we replace them? Replace the Soother after 1 month. 1 month. So there we go. And I know for sure that Avent are 4 weeks. So that's your Soothers. If you are using your Soother to help baby to go to sleepy town, try only use it at the very last part of your routine. If you feel like, ask yourself this: how many times am I replugging it in the middle of the night? And am I tired the next day? If you're tired because you're having broken sleep, that means that your baby's probably tired because they've had broken sleep. So now, if there's no issue, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So, but if you are having an issue with the Soother, you may want to consider having a backup plan just in case. I know when I'm working with a baby, either as a maternity nurse or if I'm on night shift, and I hear the that little kind of, and you're kind of going, oh, they're gonna wake up. And you look for it and you like checking behind their neck, you're like in the grooves, where is it? And it's down beside their feet. You're like, how does it even get there? Okay. If I have to turn on the torch of my phone to find the Soother, I usually turn on the torch of my phone and put my hand over it so it glows pink, and I'm kind of looking for it, even with the glow in the dark ones. They can be very tricky to find. So if I can't find it and I'm fully awake, I'm working nights, it can be very difficult for a child to find it. So yeah, if the Soother is causing you problems, you can take it away. The more reliant your child becomes on the dodo, the more difficult it will be to take away. So reduce the use of it if you feel like, and I always get it on we do our sleep training calls usually on a Thursday night, and I'll always get one family go, can we just keep it for the car? We're going on a plane in June, can we just keep it for the plane? No, we either get rid of it or we keep it, but we don't keep the middle of the road. And generally speaking, we just get rid of it, because then the Snuggie Teddy becomes the Soother. Anyway, that is Soothers. Hope you found that useful. Share it with your friends. Be honest. How long do you wait until you change your Soother? Oh, here's another thing. I worked for a family now, it was a good few years ago. And usually I use like the microwave sterilizers or the plug-in. My favorite one is the big Avent one, the plug-in one. And next one will be Dr. Brown's, and then the Tommy TP. But I went to a house and it'd been donkey's years since I seen someone using a Milton bucket. So I was like, all right, okay, we're using Milton buckets. Okay, that's fine. And we was using that to clean the bottles, and that was fine. But the Soothers were going in there as well. Now, the baby had really bad reflux. I was in to give them a hand, give them a break. And there were Soothers used in the Milton bucket as well. And when I took the Soothers out, I could see there was liquid inside, and I squeezed it. and the fluid would come out, the water would come out, but it would actually, there was water mixed with milton, like. So you wouldn't want to, in a state of exhaustion, put a soother that has essentially like bleach in it into baby's mouth. So just be careful about that. I said it to the mum, and she was shocked. She couldn't, you know, when you squeeze it, you could see the water. So and that's the thing, is when we do clean them, they do get all gunky and there's saliva and everything. It's good to give a good clean, a good scald, a good boil, but also just get rid of any bacteria water, because if you leave them sitting, if you go on holiday, like you left one in the cup on the countertop or in the little tub or wherever you have it, you may come back and there could be mold in there. So yeah, they can be very useful, but they can be expensive, and they can cause problems as well that we don't even know about it. So people sometimes wait until they see cracks in it or they go really discolored to replace them, but really you should be replacing as per the manufacturer's guidelines, because they're the guys who make them, so they put that on there for a reason. I think they should put it in bigger writing, to be honest. Anyway, there you go. Hope you found that useful. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.